Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name's Georgia. I hope you're well. Welcome to our first sort of like monthly wrap up of 2026. So we're going to talk all the books that I picked up and read in the month of January. I do have 7 books that I finished. So let's jump in and talk about the first book I read in January. So I have all my notes on my phone, so if I'm looking down it's because my notes are there. So the first book that I finished in the month of January was Out of the Woods by Hannah Bonham Young. Now this is book 2 in the sort of like Out series by this author. So in this book we are following the main character in book 1's best friend Sarah. Now Sarah and Caleb are already married in book 1, and this is sort of like a second chance finding out who they are since they've been married since they were like 18 and been together since they were like children. So it's like a really fun sort of like discovering who you are, second chance romance, I guess. I've never read anything where they're already married before the book even starts. So like I've never read this sort of setup where it's like they're trying to figure out life together already sort of thing. And I just thought that was really, really interesting. So in this book we follow our 2 main characters. They're sort of like quite high maintenance, like he works in tech, she's like a stay-at-home wife, she doesn't work. They have this really like luxurious life, and they decide to go on sort of like a camping trip together to get out of their comfort zone, to try and sort of reconnect, go through some issues and some drama that happens at the beginning of the book and things. And I just think that it's such an interesting take on a romance book, and I really, really enjoyed this setup. So I love Hannah Bonham Young's writing anyway. I do think I want to pick up the Next of Kin series, or the next of, I don't know which one's first. There's Next to You and Next of Kin. But I do think that I want to pick up that series soon, because I just think her writing style is so much fun, and like how she writes banter and just like the other human interaction and all the side characters. I just really, really, really like her writing. So I decided on a 4.25 for this one in the end. I can't actually remember what I rated the other book by this author. Should we have a quick look? I would probably say I enjoyed book 1 more than this one. So book 1 is Out on a Limb, and I apparently rated that one 4, but I don't want to lower this one, but that other one was probably more of like a 4.5. But yeah, I absolutely loved this book and this series, and this does complete a series for me starting off the bat at the beginning of this year. I'm trying to focus really hard on like not having too many series on the go at a time. So I've tried really hard to wrap up some series at the beginning of the year so that I can go into new series this year without feeling guilty about not finishing the other ones. So I tried really hard to focus on that for a lot of my reads this month actually. So this was a solid start. 4.25, really, really enjoyed this one. Well, then on to my 24-hour reading challenge. So all of the next few books are part of that video. So if you want in-depth thoughts, feelings, reactions to this book, then you can go and watch that. But I started with Enchantress. This is book 2 in the Wicked Game series, which now means that I am up to date with this one. She has announced a 3rd book, but I don't think we're going to get that. Magpie. I don't think we're going to get that until probably like the end of this year, I think she said. So this one follows the main character from book 1's sister, Genevieve. She sort of gets wrapped up in these Enchantress games. Now she is trying to sort of find more people like her, trying to connect with more people that have these powers that she doesn't really know how to use and don't really know what's going on with it all. And in doing that, basically gets caught in these games with a family, a big family of siblings that all have to complete in these trials every year and have to basically like kill each other. And the winner gets a year of freedom is pretty much the setup for this one. I really enjoyed this one. It was fun. It was spicy. It is also like a marriage of convenience, because for her to be there, she has to have the last name Silver to compete, or she will just get killed off. And she's not like immortal. So she basically has to marry one of the brothers so that she can compete in these games at a chance of survival rather than just being immediately killed off by one of the devils. And I think this one was really fun. Again, I really like Kaylee Smith's writing, the banter, it was really quick pace, but then had some really slowed down lovely sort of romance moments as these 2 characters start to like connect and get to know each other a little bit more. And all in all, I just really, really enjoyed this one. I do think it was a lot of fun. I rated it 4 stars in the end. I always feel like I'm a bit stricter on my ratings of fantasies than I am with my ratings of romances. I don't know what that's about, but I thought it was really interesting. The ending was really lovely, how they sort of wrapped up all the drama. It was all really nice. But yeah, definitely high stakes, fun, quick pace read if you like that sort of thing. I do recommend not just this book, but this series as a whole so far. Book 1 and book 2, I've really enjoyed both. I'm probably going to say I enjoyed this one a little bit more than book 1, I think. Both were really, really good. I highly recommend both, and I went for a 4 star for this one. The next book that I picked up in the month of January was Free in the Wild by Paisley Hope. This is book 4 in the Silver Pines Ranch series, so this takes me up to date with another series this month, so that's 1 finished and 2 more up to date. So this is book 4, there's going to be 5 in total in this series, and that one's coming out a bit later on this year, I believe. I want to say like mid of the year-ish. But this one follows Cassie, which is our main character from book 2's sister, and Hayden, which is the sort of like second in command in this ranch. Cassie is a singer-songwriter, musician sort of deal. She's constantly on the road. Her manager pushes and pushes and pushes for all these gigs. She wants to be a songwriter, but he is really pushing for her to get her music out there and perform it herself first. So that's what she's doing. So she's literally at gigs like every single night, constantly on the road. Now she comes to the ranch to meet her niece and see her family just for a couple of days before she goes back on tour. When doing that, her and Hayden actually end up having a bit of a one-night stand. He didn't know who she was at the time, and then she pretty much just like ghosts him and disappears and goes back on tour. We then follow Cassie on these like few tour dates when something really, really traumatic happens, and she basically just goes, I can't do this anymore, and moves into the ranch to be with her family just to sort of recover from this really traumatic event. We then follow them as they sort of navigate this seeing each other again. They've both only thought of each other this whole time, but Hayden holds a lot of like anger towards her for putting his job on the line sort of thing. So we follow them sort of navigate this one night stand, second chance sort of situation. He's helping her with all her trauma, and it's just a really, really lovely romance. So I rated this one 4.5 in the end. It's definitely up there as one of my favourites, but I do think I preferred book 2 more than this one. But it is definitely up there as one of my favourites in this series. This one was really fun. They're super spicy, full of sort of like drama, and we get a lot of cameos from all the other books. So I definitely recommend reading these books in order. I really, really enjoyed this one. I am looking forward to book 5, but I'm also going to be really sad to see the end of this series because I just enjoy them so much and I really love this author's writing. But equally, it means that she can move on to other things, and I'm excited to see what else this author comes up with. She has definitely become one of my favourite authors as of last year and beginning of this year. I've not read a single book by this author yet that I've not rated above 4 stars. I just love her writing so much. Freya is very poorly today. She keeps being sick, so she's just sort of wandering around feeling a bit sorry for herself at the moment, bless her. But yeah, I really, really enjoyed this one, and I've settled on a 4.5 in the end. I next picked up Vengeance of the Pirate Queen by Trisha Levenseller. Now this is book 3 in this series. It's the Daughter of a Pirate King trilogy, and in this one we follow a different main character. So in book 1 and book 2 we follow Alosa, and in this one we follow her pirate assassin. And I loved this book. I love this book so much. This is such a fun read. It's a bit different, it's a bit darker, it's a bit more mysterious than book 1 and book 2, and I devoured it. I literally devoured it. This is the last book in this trilogy, like I said, so I am heartbroken to see the end of this, but also excited to see and to read some of Trisha Levenseller's other books because I just love her writing. So it is technically, I think, like a upper YA series. There's not a lot of spice, so if you're somebody who likes more plot than romance, I would definitely say these are it. They do definitely have romance through them, but it's not the main focus of the story. It's definitely more on the piratey adventure side of things, and I can't fault it. Like, I literally have nothing bad to say about this book. I enjoyed it so much. The drama, the pacing, the banter, the romance, the development of the characters, it is all just incredible. In this one we follow Serinda, who is the pirate assassin, as she sort of ends up having to man her own crew. Her captain Alosa basically gives her a bit of a mission unlike any other mission she's had. So usually she's sent on these missions to assassinate people, and on this one she's actually sent on a mission to save like a part of the missing crew. I loved it so much. Seeing her sort of development from just being somebody who lurks in the shadows, who goes about sort of hiding and being really sneaky and assassinating all these people, to somebody who has to captain a full crew was so nice. It was so nice to sort of see her come into her own, learn how that she can make mistakes and things like that. And this book is just full of drama and full of like fight scenes and battles, and I just love the detail of these scenes. Like, the beginning of this book is literally her just slaughtering an entire pirate crew because of something one of them said. And I love that. Trisha Levenseller literally writes the most powerful women, and I just love it. I just love it so much. I just think it's such a fun time. And if you've not read this series, or this series isn't on your radar, I highly recommend reading all 3 books. All 3 of them have been incredible, and I just think they've got better and better as the series has gone on. I am so sad to see the end of this series. I have enjoyed it so much. It's been so much fun. I want some more pirate reads. So if you have any other pirate recommendations, please let me know, because I just need more books like this. I think the romance was really sweet throughout as well for both our main male and female character. Surinder has this really sort of like negative image on what she deserves, and watching her sort of like accept that she is deserving of nice things and things like that was just so lovely. And I enjoyed this series so much. I'm going to stop rambling on about it because I could just talk about this and how much I love it all day. But Trish Levensella's writing is incredible. I highly recommend giving this series a go. It is upper YA, not a lot of spice, bit of like the fucking slowest slow burn to ever exist. It was driving me crazy, but like the tension and the yearning was just so much fun, and I highly recommend. I rated this one 5 stars. The 5th book that I picked up in the month of January then was The Mistake by Elle Kennedy. This is book 2 in the Off-Campus series. This is a ice hockey college romance, and this one is following our main characters, Gracie and Logan. So Logan is one of the boys in book 1. We've seen quite a bit of him in book 1 anyway, and he's sort of this massive player. He will sleep with anybody who can walk sort of situation. He will sleep with everybody and everyone. And when you read book 1, you kind of figure out why he's a bit like that at the end of that book and the beginning of this one, but I'm not going to give you any spoilers. He basically ends up bumping into Gracie, and like he's going to this party, forgot his phone, and he basically ends up at the wrong door, and it ends up being Gracie's door. So he's like, can I just come in and ring somebody and try and figure out where I'm supposed to be going? So he comes in, and they end up just sort of spending a bit of time together. It all gets a little bit handsy, and then he just sort of like leaves. And Gracie ends up basically getting her heart a little bit broken after a few more interactions with him. It kind of blows up in their faces and all goes a bit wrong. And then it's basically just Logan then sort of grovelling and trying to get his way back. And I loved it. I haven't explained this very well because I don't want to explain anything and mess it up and give you spoilers. So like I said, this is a second chance romance. We are following the aftermath of this blowing up in their faces and kind of going badly, and how after some time apart, Gracie's decided that she's not just going to forgive him, she's going to make him work for it. So she basically gives him this list of like ridiculous things that he has to do before she'll even consider going on another date with him. And I just love Gracie's progression in this book. Like at the beginning of this book, she lets everybody walk all over her. She, like her friends, Logan, guys, parties, she just lets everybody walk all over her. And by the end of this book, she's just this really strong woman, and I just really enjoy her progression from who she was on page 1 to who she was at the end of this book. I just thought it was so lovely to see her development. I also like seeing Logan's development in that, like, his family life and his story is quite sad, and like how that sort of gets wrapped up and how that ends is all really sweet. So I all in all just really enjoyed this one. I do think it was a lot of fun. I really like how Elle Kennedy writes these quite fun, flirty college romances, but all the characters have quite a dark background, or like mental health issues or family problems, and they all have their own story. So I do really like sort of the progression of both characters and how they deal with their issues in this one. I do think it's really lovely to see. So again, another one that I really enjoyed. Did I enjoy it more than book 1? I'm not sure. But I did rate this one 4 stars in the end. So I do think I preferred book 1 a little bit more, but I think that's just because it was the first book in the series. It's always a bit more exciting, I think. So for book 2 in this series, I did really enjoy it and settled on a 4 star for this one. I then jumped into The Ever King by L.J. Andrews, and I feel like I messed up for this book. I started reading this before my 24-hour reading challenge, and then did my 24-hour reading challenge and came back to it. So I do feel like I have messed up a little bit for this book, but I did still enjoy this one. So this one is sort of like a spicy, piratey one. So it's pirates, sirens, fae, Viking lore. It's got a lot of elements that I was really excited for. I do think I went into this one with extremely high expectations. Like I was expecting a 5-star read out of this. So I'd already gone in with the most ridiculous expectations, and then on top of that, didn't give it the full opportunity it deserved in terms of like reading it through start to finish. I read like the first half and then read 4 other books and then came back to this one. So I do feel like I've done this book dirty a little bit, let's be honest. This one follows our main character, Olivia. She is one of the like daughters of the pirate lords, and she ends up basically getting kidnapped by the Ever King. And he has a bit of a belief in basically an eye for an eye. He was on his way to kill Olivia's dad because he killed his dad. This is all in the blurb. I'm not giving you big spoilers, honest. So he is basically going to kill the pirate lord. Can't get the pirate lord, so just takes his daughter instead. And it becomes this really sort of spicy, fun fantasy romance. So for this one, I did enjoy it. I think the first sort of like 30% was really fun, really high stakes, really intense. And then I do feel like from like the 30% mark to like the 70% mark, not a lot happened. Now, I kind of understand why. There is more than one book in this series. I think there's two following these characters and then a third following a different character, a bit like the Trisha Levenseller series. So I know that not everything's going to be going off in this one book, but after the kidnapping, it kind of just got a bit stale and a bit boring, in my opinion. It just really slowed down. Like, it was so intense and so fast-paced, and then all of a sudden it was like, oh. So I did find myself getting a little bit bored, which is why I think I didn't continue this one on in my 24-hour reading challenge, because I wanted something fun and exciting to keep me hooked. So after pushing through sort of like that middle third of the book, I then thought that it picked up again and got more fast-paced and fun and exciting, and the ending of this book is such a cliffhanger. I did enjoy it overall. I am going to be continuing on with the series, but this one I have gone for a 3.75 in terms of star rating. It hasn't been as amazing as some of the other books I've read this month, but equally was still fun. But I do recommend it if you like a pirate read. It was fun. It's pirates, fays, sirens, all the things that I really enjoy. So all in all, was a good book. It just was a little bit slow in the middle for my liking. That's all. So the last book that I have finished in the month of January was Leather and Lark by Bryn Weaver. This is book 2 in the Ruinous Love trilogy. So this one follows our main characters from book 1's like family and friends. So it's his brother and her best friend. I love this series. I feel like this book got a lot of stick. So like, when I first heard of this series, everybody were raving about book 1 and book 3, but said book 2 was a bit crap. And I really enjoyed this one. I did prefer book 1, don't get me wrong, but I still think this one very much holds its own. It's so fun and gross, and like, it didn't have me heaving as much as book 1 did, but was still pretty gross. It still had all that spice and tension, and this one is another Marriage of Convenience read, so I've had a couple of those this month as well. But this one is a Marriage of Convenience, and our main female character, Lark, puts like a lot on the line to try and save Rowan, even though she doesn't like him and his family, and then all they're connected in a circle sort of thing. This one follows them in this Marriage of Convenience as they're trying to sort of figure out what's going on behind the scenes, and I really enjoyed it. I love Lark as a character. I think she's so funny. Rowan is such a touch her and die sort of character, which I always really enjoy. I did do a mix of physically reading this and audioing it. If you audio these on Audible like I did, they are the sort of like immersive versions. So like the spicy scenes are extra spicy on the audio because you can sort of hear things going on, and like it's also dual narration, and I just much prefer it when the guy's reading the guy's lines and the girl's reading the girl's lines, even in their opposite chapters. And I love the audiobooks for these. I will definitely be waiting until my next Audible token to read Scythe and Sparrow, because I want the full experience like I did with book 1 and 2. I think if you don't really do audio but you enjoy spicy books, I would maybe try these ones in particular, because I just think that the narration on them is incredible, and I really enjoyed this one. So I did give this one a 4.5 in the end. Like I said, I didn't love it quite as much as book 1, but I still really enjoyed this book. I am really excited to jump into book 3. I'm enjoying them so much. I'm a bit gutted that there's only 3 books in this series, but I will just continue on with some more of Bryn Weaver's writing, because I just think her writing is incredible. Her banter, her mind, her mind is just so messed up, but in like the best possible way. And I'm so excited to read some more sort of like different series by this author. So that is all the books that I picked up in the month of January. I think it's all in all just been a really fun reading month. I've had a lot of piratey ones. I've finished off a lot of series, got up to date with some more. I finished 2 series, got up to date with 2 series, and read book 2 in 2 series and started 1. I'm okay with that. I mean, I've finished more than I've started, which is always good. All in all, a successful January. I stuck to the goal that I had for this month, and I'm really happy with that. So I'm chuffed. I feel like I can go into the next few months and start some new series and not feel guilty about it, if that makes sense. 7 books done, 3 off my TBR. Let's try a little bit harder next month to stick to my TBR. I have already pulled my February TBR. That video is up if you want to go and watch it. I definitely have some fun and interesting reads that I'm really looking forward to in the month of February. So I am hoping to actually read all of them. If I can hit a full TBR this year, I'll be so proud, because I've never done it. I have never read all 6 books off of my TBR, which is really bad. So I'm really hoping to do better next month, and I'm hoping to hit that. I do think there's one that isn't going in a video, but I'll try and squeeze that in at some point. But I do think the others are all actually in videos as well, so we'll have to give that a good go. Let's try for an even better reading month in the month of February, but a very strong start to the year. That is everything for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. And as always, my social media, my Amazon, my Goodreads and my business email are all in the description bar below. I really hope you're well, and I hope to see you in the next one. Take care. Bye.